Assalamu alaikum viewers, and welcome to season 2 of my talk show segment. With me again, your host Dunira Malik. As you can see, we are filming today here at our brand new beautiful set, which has been provided to us by our gold sponsor, Perry Gallery Hyatt Plaza. Today our guest of honor is someone best known as a people developer. He is a man with distinct vision who resolves to complexity of the corporate world with his instinct to conquer. He is truly a genius business head who believes in brushing up the attitude of one's co-workers, thereby witnessing the company's fate blooming. Having a commendable amount of laureate attached to his shoulders, he is an author of 7 published books and is an internationally acclaimed management expert. So here I am, sitting right beside the man who firmly believes that the good things we do for others is actually a measure of our own personal worth. Presenting you the Managing Director for Qatar Center for Career Development, Dr. Shaukat Chandana. Hello, Mr. Chandana, and welcome to the show. So how are you doing today?
I'm very well, thank you for having me here.
Pleasure is all ours. Okay, Mr. Chandana, if you can sum up your journey from being in Pakistan Army to coming towards Qatar and becoming Managing Director for QCCD.
Thank you very much for giving me the opportunity. I left the Army in 1984.
Okay.
And I had a very nice Army career, a very eventful Army career, and I learned a lot of things. But when I left the Army, the skill sets that I had in the Army, I had to apply in the civilian world. And that was difficult. Because what do you do when you write your CV? You cannot write that I know 300 ways how to kill another human being. They won't give you a job. So you have to have marketable skills to come out into the civil world because it's very competitive.
Yeah.
So I had to change myself, I had to reinvent myself. And the only thing that I knew was how to motivate people, because that's what you do in the Army. You motivate your soldiers to die for God, King and country. So I thought, if I can motivate people to die for God, King and country, why cannot I motivate young people to earn a good living, become successful, start their own work or businesses, and overcome the adversities of life. So that's what I did. That's how I started off.
That's beautiful how you thought about it. And tell me more about your family. You have kids, you have your family here as well?
I started off as an orphan, okay? And I had no one to guide me because my father was killed when I was 10 years old. So I had to struggle every inch of the way.
And how he got killed?
He was killed in the war. He was a soldier, he was a colonel, and he was killed in the war.
Oh.
And so I had to struggle every single day of my life just to survive. And one thing that the thing that never entered my mind was that I'm going to fail.
Wow.
Because that was not an option. When you are rock bottom, the option is only to go up.
To survive, yeah.
To survive. You have to go up. There's no other way. So when I went into the Army, I went with the same motivation. When I left the Army and I entered the civilian life, I carried that with me. Now you asked me about my immediate family. Yes, I got married to a very beautiful girl. And I have 2 lovely kids. My son is now 24, my daughter is 28. My daughter graduated from Carnegie Mellon in Pittsburgh. My son graduated from Georgetown University in Washington. So for an orphan to come up all this way,
wow,
and to see his children go to the 2 best universities
of the world, yeah.
That is what I always had as a vision. That was my dream. That the opportunities which I did not have, which I did not get, I need to provide it for my children, but along the way, for every young man or woman who I encounter. And as we are sitting in Perry Gallery, every single person over here has been trained by me, including their general manager. 20 years ago, he was in Sharjah when I met him, and he was working as a salesman in a shop. Today he's, mashallah, the general manager of a huge, successful luxury retail outlet. And when I look at this, I know that young people can achieve it. because he has achieved it. I only showed him the way. I didn't work for him. I only showed him, gave him the direction. So the philosophy behind this is that if you are a quality person, you will take every opportunity and grab it to rise.
Beautifully said, Mr. Chandna. But Mr. Chandna, you know, not everyone is fortunate enough to get guidance like this. And even you, that's why you decided to become one. How did you manage your life? Who guided you throughout
Nobody.
that?
I had nobody. I had nobody to guide me. In fact, I had 200 people willing to take advantage of my misery. I'll give you an example. I came out of East Pakistan, which is now Bangladesh. So I came out of East Pakistan and I landed in West Pakistan with 10 rupees in my pocket, 10 Pakistani rupees,
Oh my God.
given to me by the mothers of St. Francis. Okay, they gave me that 10 rupees. With that, I landed in West Pakistan. I had a small bag about the size of this box, in which was one vest, one underwear, and that's it. That was
Everything
me,
you had.
total. I remember reading somewhere that it doesn't matter what you have, it's what you do with yourself.
Or what you do
So,
with the stuff
with
that
whatever
you
you have. So I went to a military boarding school, and I told the commandant of that school, who knew my father because my father was in the army,
Okay.
and I said, I want an admission. He told me, this is the elite school of our country. It requires a lot of money to be here. Who will pay? And I said to him, I will come first in every single exam, in every single class. Give me a scholarship. And I was 10 years old talking to him. And he said to me, but that's not possible. We don't give scholarships. And I said, if I come second, stop the scholarship and kick me out. But don't ask my relatives or anybody else in this world. Because 30 years later, I don't want someone pointing a finger at me
That I did
and
this
saying,
for
we did it for
Yeah.
him. This self-respect kept pushing me. So it was
Amazing.
nothing else. It was nothing else. It was just this bit of a self-respect that you pick up from your father, you pick up from your mother as you grow.
So your mother was also not with you at that time?
My whole family life was destroyed in East Pakistan.
Oh my God. I googled you and I searched so much about you, but I didn't find anything regarding this, and I'm really shocked and amazed today right now.
You would not find this in Google or
Yeah.
other places because I don't talk much about
I
it
know.
except to my students.
And that's, amazing me because
But this is the reality.
this is the reality. Yeah. So after that, how did you landed up here in Doha?
Now, when I left the army, I left the country after a while. I left Pakistan. I'm from Pakistan, so I left.
Along with your family, you left the country? or-
I just had married. It was just me and my wife.
Okay.
And we decided to leave Pakistan and completely change our life. So we moved to the Middle East. We moved to Abu Dhabi.
Okay.
And I worked for the royal family of Abu Dhabi. I was very lucky. I got a great opportunity. And then I decided that, you see, when people leave the army, they have only, the options are very limited. The options are you work as a security manager or an administration manager in some factory, or you have a plot of land, you sell that and you set up some small business. I didn't have anything like that. I wanted to strike it out on my own. So what I did, I decided right the day I left the army that I want to climb higher than anybody else. And so it was not an option for me to go and seek a job. What I did was I wanted to study. So whatever money I had, I put it together. Whatever I got, end of service benefits, etc., etc.
How long did you serve the
I was
army?
8 years in the army
8
as an
years.
officer.
Okay.
So I left the army, whatever money I got, I used that to do my master's in international business from one of the best institutes in the world in Switzerland.
Okay.
So I did that, spent all my money. Then I now have to work because I have to eat.
Yeah.
So I came back to Pakistan, married the girl I loved,
Oh, wow.
and then took her with me to Abu Dhabi. All right? When I came to Abu Dhabi, I was very lucky. I got a job. It was a great job. After 2 years, I decided to do my doctorate. So I went to Sheikh Sultan, the son of Sheikh Zayed. And I said, sir, I would like to, Your Highness, I would like to resign and go. He told me, you've been a good man. You go and study. You come back, you have a job. Your job, I don't take your job away. So I went and did my PhD.
For sure, you were very lucky enough.
I was very lucky. I met good people.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you meet good people and
and that's your destiny.
That's your destiny. They change your life.
They change your life.
So I was very lucky, and I went to study. I did my doctorate in human resource management.
Okay.
The day I was coming back, I stopped in the UK, and there was an advertisement on the television, and that advertisement was very high tech. I loved that. I loved the company. So next day I walked into that company, and I said, I love your advertisement, and I would like to work for you if I have a chance. They told me, who are you? And I said, I am, newly minted Dr. Shaukat. So they said, okay, great. What can you do? I said, I've just got a doctorate in human resource management. They said, would you like to go to Dubai? Because we are setting up in Dubai. Would you like to go and work for us in Dubai? So I went to Sheikh Sultan.
So right away they said that?
Yeah. Wow. And I said, I went to Sheikh Sultan. I told him, Your Highness, this is what I want to do. He said, best of luck. You have my blessing.
Wow.
So I went and I started working for this British company. I was very lucky. I had a great boss, a great leader. He understood how to take work out of people.
That's a quality of leadership.
And I learned everything from him. And I became a financial services man. So I lived with them, worked with them for about 10 years. And I progressed up the corporate ladder. And so I found myself as country general manager in Turkey of that company.
Wow.
So when I was there, the best way to work in a country is to learn the language. So I learned Turkish.
So how many languages do you know so far?
Few. Few.
Okay.
So I had a great time in Turkey, 6 years. Set up the business, financial services, with a $300 billion company.
And were you writing at the same time, your books and
I
all?
always write. I work 21 hours every single day of my life. I sleep for 3 hours.
Well, that's not good.
Well, I'm still
Was
alive.
it really working for you?
I'm
Is
still
it healthy?
alive. But
because you have an army background, I'm sure you can get
But I do
along
not.
with that.
I do not ask my people to work. They're not supposed to be as crazy as I am.
Of course, you cannot force
but,
them your.
But I have to work. I am not particularly a very brilliant person, but I'm very hardworking. I'm not a very intelligent person, but I'm very hardworking.
Yeah, that I can see on Fridays even you work, right?
I'm
you
just,
don't take a day off.
Today, 8 hours, I stood and conducted a training program, went home, had my lunch, and I'm here.
How supportive is your wife with this?
My wife was a wonderful person. She passed away a few months ago. And she was one of the strongest things in my life. A wonderful woman, as beautiful in mind as in form, and truly everything that I have done in my life has been because she would tell me every single day. Because when we got married, you know, we make promises. I'll get you, I'll bring the moon for you, I will climb the Everest for you.
Really, Mr. Chandra?
We have this kind of a culture, you know, in Pakistan. We promises all kind of things which we have no intention of keeping.
Yeah.
So, on our wedding night, I made her promise me one thing. I said, the day I come home and I sit in front of a television and I start sitting down comfortable with my life, kick me and throw me out. Tell me that go and earn better tomorrow than you have done today. That's the only way you're going to give me a good life. That's the only way you're going to give our children a good life. Another reason is I go to corporations. That's where my bread and butter comes from when I work for corporations. A lot of time people come to me after my training programs are over. They come to me and they say, we want to attend your training program, but unfortunately we could not because our manager did not let us go. Or enough people were already on the course and we didn't get a chance. So then I decided, as a corporate social service, let me run training programs on Friday, for which I sometimes don't even charge anything. I let people come, and that is a value addition. What am I going to do at home? I'm going to sleep. because that is the only thing. Now I don't sleep more than 3 hours. So what am I going to do? I'm
Rest
going to
of the time, yeah.
I'm going to sit and play with my cat Purple Heart. Okay, my
Okay.
cat is called Purple Heart. So I'll
Okay.
play with Purple Heart. How much Purple Heart is going to get tired of me? So
But don't you watch television or not all
My-
the time on internet like
I
that?
no, I watch movies when I fly to different countries. In the plane, I watch movies. I don't,
That's the only time
That's
you
the only
watch
time
movies?
I watch movies.
You never have been to cinemas or theaters?
My
Like
son drags me up sometimes when he wants me to see a movie, but usually I don't have the time for that. Now the nationality that mostly come on these courses are Filipinos. Filipinos are into developing themselves, and they come in
very hardworking nation.
very hardworking. So I love interacting with young people, and they energize me.
Yeah. So is it like not only corporate, but you individually also you sit with them or
Not individually, but in groups.
in groups?
Because individually I don't really have the
But
time.
within that group, a person can be from different criteria, different backgrounds.
absolutely.
Like anybody can approach you easily.
Absolutely.
So,
In my company, I have now got 13 people.
okay.
On a Saturday, we don't go to the office. They come to my house, we work from my house. I cook for them. I
Okay.
feed them. They sit in different parts of the house. They sit in the drawing room. There's somebody's in the kitchen, somebody's in the garden. We work from home. So I create that feeling
Environment,
that
yeah.
whatever we are doing, we are having fun. And as long as we are having fun, it's not work anymore.
That becomes your hobby then. Yeah.
Now, I'll give you an example. Many years ago, I was in Turkey, and I was running a financial services company there.
Okay.
And one day, the general manager of a bank over there rang me up and said, "Would you like to be a co-sponsor for an event?" And I said, "What event?" And he said, "David Copperfield, the magician, the illusionist. David Copperfield is coming to Turkey, and he's going to put up a show. Would you like to be a co-sponsor?" And I said, "Done. Perfectly all right. I'm happy with it." So I told everybody in my team. At that time we had about 40 people, and I said, everybody must come, okay? Because we are the sponsors. All of you have
be
to
there,
come.
yeah.
So there was this magic show, an illusionist putting up the best show on the banks of the Bosphorus, okay, with the bridge linking Asia and
Europe, yeah.
up there in front of us.
beautiful
It's a magical view. So we are all sitting down, and because I was the sponsor, I was sitting on the table with the general manager of the bank, David Copperfield, and his beautiful wife at that time, Claudia Schiffer.
Okay.
So Claudia Schiffer, David Copperfield, myself, and the manager of the bank, Toprak Bank. So we are sitting there, and David Copperfield had just made the bridge vanish. So 6 million cars cross that bridge every day,
Oh
and
my
suddenly that bridge is gone. It's not there. You can see the stars, and everybody went, "What happened? Will the cars fall in the sea?"
But this must be a news then.
It was in. I'm
How
talk-
come it didn't came across me?
Well, that's 20 years ago. You weren't even
Oh,
born.
yeah.
You-
I was little
you're a
girl
very
that
young
time,
person.
yeah.
Okay? I told you I'm a dinosaur. I'll give you old stories.
Well, you don't look
so
like.
now that time, the bridge vanished, and everybody was amazed. So when we were sitting for dinner, and of course he brought the bridge back. It was an illusion. So when we were sitting for dinner, I asked him. I said, "David, I want you to tell me something."
did you
And I said, "I won't ask you your secret. I don't want to know how you do it, because that's
Okay.
your secret. How do you manage to bring so much energy into your performance?" David Copperfield said 3 things that changed my life. Because I was in financial services, I was earning millions of dollars, and I was not happy. And I was not happy. I had the best lifestyle. I would travel from one place to another by private jet, and I was not happy. I was
Still you
miserable.
was not happy.
I was miserable. Because everything was me. I wasn't doing anything for anybody else.
The true happiness.
So
yeah.
I asked David Copperfield, I said, "David, tell me, how do you bring so much energy?" He said 3 things. He said, "Number 1, I love doing what I do. Ever since I can remember, I have wanted to do nothing else in my life except do magic tricks. So that's number 1. So I'm lucky that I'm doing what I love to do. Number 2, I would do free the same thing for which people pay me money. Can you imagine a motivation like that I'm doing something and I would do it for free?
Free,
And yet people come and pay me millions of dollars to do something that I would do for free. I thought that is what I want to do. I want to do things. So that's, my mind has started
Selflessly,
changing.
yeah.
And the third thing, he said, the greatest thing is every single performance has a different audience. So every single performance has to be better than the last time. And that day I decided I want to develop people. So the three things, I want to develop people, like I developed my soldiers in the army. They were the best killing machines, okay? And I loved it. I was in the infantry,
Okay.
and that's where you fight and die. So I loved doing what I did. So I said, when I get into, I would love to have a company that develops other people. Softer skills, management skills, leadership skills.
All kind of lectures you
Now,
give.
I love to talk. My wife used to tell me, Shaukat, you talk too much. Okay? So here I am living David Copperfield's philosophy.
Yeah.
Love what you do, and people pay you money for what you love to do and would do for free. And third, every single class that I conduct, the audience is different.
The audience
So I have to be better than last time. My jokes have to be different. My learning lessons have to be different.
Definitely,
Because
yeah.
otherwise somebody will say, oh, everywhere he goes, the same old stale
Yeah.
jokes. Who wants to listen to him? So every time I have to be one step bigger, greater, faster
For-
than
yeah.
everybody else. And that keeps me on my toes.
Excellent.
This is
Very well
the key
said.
to success. This is, and I learned it from David Copperfield.
And I was about to ask you that for you, what is the key to success?
There you go.
And you
There
just
you go.
said
That's
it out. Dr. Chandana, tell me more about you and your wife.
me and my wife.
Yeah.
You see, she was ill with an illness that happens to 1 in a billion people. And there was nothing I can do about it.
And for 14 years you told
14
me
years
before.
she was sick.
She was sick. Okay.
So the best thing that I could do, doctors told me she will die in 2 months. She lived for 14 years. The best thing that I could do was give her a feeling that she is still loved in much the same way that she was loved when she was healthy. But that will keep her alive.
That's true.
I had to
The
keep,
willpower, and you are the
It-
one
it has-
giving her the willpower.
I actually didn't do much, she did it. She was a remarkable person. Then my children started eating in fast foods because they didn't like the food the maid made.
Okay.
So I've forced her, when she was in the hospital bed attached to machines, I forced her to one by one give me recipes. So I learned how to cook. So the children grew up on my cooking. But the important thing is that it was also an education for me and for my children.
Yeah.
How can we
Learning
have a good family when the children grow up, if the children grow up feeling that they don't love their mother? So I have to give them that confidence every single day of my life. So, and my wife was so brave that she never ever cried. She never, said, oh my God, why did it happen to me?
Of course, because she
Okay.
was your wife.
She would always, seriously, I mean, I was so lucky to marry, that probably the only good thing I ever did in my life was marry this girl.
You both had the mutual.
She was such
personality.
so remarkable.
Yeah.
So everything I did, I would go to her every day, and I would sit by her bed and tell her the whole story of the day. That this happened, this happened. She couldn't answer me back. She could just hear me. She couldn't move.
Okay.
But I would tell her the whole story because that's what I do. That's what I did when she was all right. I didn't want her psychologically to think that because now I am sick, he doesn't even talk to me. So I would go sit down, talk to her every single day and tell her all the stories. Okay?
But she must be reacting towards it, or
The
with
only
her eyes,
reaction
or
she could do was her eyes.
her
She
eyes
couldn't move
only.
anything else.
Okay.
Sometimes I would go, I would pull up her hair with my fingers, and I could feel the wetness because she had been crying when I was not there. So then I would tell her, no crying in the Chandna family. We are winners, we are not going to cry, we are going to survive. And I'm so lucky that everything worked out.
Wow.
This really, and when she passed away, my son came to me, said, Dad, let's take her back to Pakistan. And I said, why? He said, Dad, your love story began in Pakistan. Let it end in Pakistan. So we took her back to Pakistan.
Wow.
And she's there, and we, go now every month. We visit her. We don't say we say we're visiting her.
Yeah.
You see, it's all what you tell your mind.
Mind, yeah. How you prepare yourself.
Yeah, you have to tell your mind. And the mind is there is a microchip that gets embedded.
Yeah.
So if you tell your mind negative things and you tell your mind sorry things, that's how you're going to turn up.
Your life becomes what you think about.
When the
yourself.
children were small, one of the lessons that they were told was that you will never come from a school, and when daddy asks you, how was the school? You will never say, oh, the school was bad, the teacher was bad, this boy kicked me, this. No, you will say, wonderful. When daddy comes back, you ask him, how was the office? He's not going to say, oh, life is terrible. He's going to say it was wonderful. So later on, after 2 hours, maybe you can unwind, you can tell the real story.
Okay.
But right when you walk in, don't throw something on somebody's face. And I teach this to my own team, my own staff, the team in my company. The only reason why I will fire them is if they don't smile. Because people don't pay us for our problems.
Yeah.
People pay us for their problems. So if I have a
Solve
face
them,
hanging up to my knees, nobody's going to pay me money.
Yeah.
I have to smile. I have to take their problems on me. So this is how I teach my own team. I teach my students, the corporations that I work with.
And they all follow you.
Touch wood, wherever wood is.
Okay.
I'm a very lucky man. I have good clients, Paris Gallery being one of them.
Yeah.
And I'm so fortunate that wherever I go, I meet good people. It's just, I guess I'm just lucky.
No, you are. You are one lucky person. I can see that because the background you had and how you raised your life, and mashallah, you have taken everything so courageously.
Thank you very much.
Excellently said, and I'm really impressed once again.
The honor of talking to you is mine. I'm grateful that you invited me.
Okay, Mr. Chandana, please don't mind, and I'm sure I'm not the only one asking you this. What is the reason behind this mustache?
Oh,
this,
okay.
this quite big thing you have on your face, and it's becoming your identity.
I'm one of those people who love their mustaches. I love them, and since no woman has ever complained, I'm fine. But apart from that, I once asked my mother, Mom, how long did I have these mustaches? And my mother said to me, son, the mustaches were born first. You grew out of them.
Okay.
All right, joke. I've had them all my life. It's just been there, and I
And you
guess-
never trimmed it or cut it? Never.
Never.
Okay.
Never.
But I have to say, it's your identity now.
Thank you very much.
You're known for this now.
Thank you very much. I'm glad they are there because, as you can see, I've lost all the hair on my head. So, it's a great camouflage.
Yeah. Dr. Chandana, coming towards your career and your clients and everything, the lectures you gave to others, which has been the most dearest to you? Any experience of your life that you would love to share it with our viewers?
Well, when I was small, I studied at an institution called Cadet College.
Cadet College.
And this was in East Pakistan, where my father was posted. And it was called Faujdar Cadet College. So
okay.
I'm very fortunate that now I go back to that institution and I train all the teachers where I did my schooling.
Wow.
So I train all the teachers. I have a teachers development program. So about 60 teachers and officers of the Bangladesh Army. I train them on leadership and on soft skills.
Okay.
Okay. So that's something that you take pride in, that you studied in that school, and now you are invited back to teach the faculty.
Wow.
And I don't charge either Cadet College Faujdar or the Pakistan Army for this, okay?
Wow.
Because this is really satisfying.
Yeah.
But apart from that, all the corporations here, everywhere that I go and I have 140 corporate clients now.
Okay.
Okay, I started with 0 client, 1st January 2007. This is now 2016, about to end. I now have 140 corporate clients and I work in 9 countries. I and my team.
Okay. So what do you think, what is that core things that made you different and unique from every other person that clients and corporate industry comes to you? Why not any other person?
Two reasons. One, that I do not buy things, I do not buy a training program and take it to you and give it to you, put your logo on top and then conduct it for your company and then go to another bank and give them the same program and write their name on it. Okay. I individually develop programs for corporations.
Okay.
So it's customized for that corporation because every single corporation has a different corporate culture. So
and it's completely different from each other.
It's completely different. So you have to tailor make each program for, now it's hard work.
It's a lot of
that's
hard
the only way you have credibility in the market. So that's the first reason. The second reason why your question is very interesting, why people keep coming back.
Yeah.
Is because I build relationships. I don't look at it as a business. I don't look at it as, oh, I need to work with him or with that organization because I get money. For me, the greatest height of achievement at this stage of my life is to go anywhere and have people come and say, hello, Dr. Shaukat, you remember me 2 years ago, you changed my life. I feel 10 feet tall.
That is true.
That is what keeps me moving.
And that's a beautiful feeling,
Yeah.
and I'm sure not everybody is fortunate enough
And
to have
money
it.
comes automatically.
Yeah.
But if I run after money, oh, I need this customer, I need this client because they pay,
No,
it won't work.
it won't.
Because number one, it's not me, it's not my psychology. Somebody once told me that you are not a businessman, you are a gentleman. Now, I would like that to be written on my grave. Here lies Shaukat Chandna, a gentleman.
Gentleman. Yeah.
Okay, and I would go to my grave happily. My father once told me, I was very small and my father used to take me out hunting. And my father one day said to me, all things in life will come to you, provided you behave like a gentleman. And I have never forgotten that.
Wow.
And I believe in that. That everything comes to you, provided you behave with dignity
And
that
respect,
comes from
yeah.
being a gentleman.
That is true.
And it works for me.
Beautifully said. Tell me about the clients you deal here and the youth that you are dealing with and giving lectures to. What kind of lackness you feel that the youth nowadays have?
Because of the way the world is, everything is at your fingertips.
Yeah.
Okay, I used to go to a library, sit down, draw books, read books. I developed corns on my finger because I had to write,
That much.
every time.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Today, because life is so easy, everybody wants to take a shortcut.
Yeah.
There is no shortcut. If you ask me, what do I have to say to the young people? There is no shortcut. You have to work hard. Now people tell me, oh, we work intelligently. There is no such thing as working intelligently. Let me give you an example. You are good in arithmetic. I am good in poetry. Which one of us is more intelligent? Who can tell?
Both of us, yeah.
I am useless. 2 plus 2 has always been
Yeah.
either 3 or 5 for me.
And I'm useless
Okay.
in
Now,
literature.
poetry, I can sit in the middle of Times Square and compose a poem in praise of Jennifer Lopez. Okay.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. I can write poetry. But you can calculate.
Yeah.
Who can say which one of us is? So there is no such thing as intelligent working. There is hard working. You've got to work hard. So if you ask me, now if the lack, I go and do leadership session for College of North Atlantic, right? 40 or 50 students every year. I teach them. And I go there and do a leadership session for them, a leadership workshop for them. Wonderful young people. But everyone wants to be a general manager on the first day.
Okay.
It's not going to happen.
Everybody wants shortcuts.
It's not going to happen.
It's never
So
going
I tell them that, listen, you will become a general manager. You will become bigger than a general manager. But you need
to work hard.
to burn the skin off your back.
Yeah.
You got to work hard.
You did all your schooling from Pakistan, right?
I studied at Military College, Jhelum,
Okay.
okay, which is the premier institution in my country, where I went and told them that give me a scholarship because I can't afford to pay you.
So were you teachers were good?
Wonderful
Were they
teachers,
your mentors?
brilliant teachers, brilliant teachers.
Okay.
I had a teacher who was so good looking and he was a lady killer and he would come dressed wonderfully well.
Okay.
And so I would hope to be like him. And he loved poetry, so I wanted to learn poetry. So I learned poetry because of him. His name was Mr. Ashraf Sharaf.
Okay.
Then I had a teacher who was Brigadier Ikram Amin, who guided me like a father because he knew that I didn't have a father. So I got good teachers in that institution.
And
But
good
then
people as well.
And good people. And then I went into the military academy, and then of course the army. So it's,
You had an amazing journey. Tell me about how will you define a happiness and a happy person in today's day and age?
happiness to me is being able to walk somewhere and have someone say to you that you added value to his or her life. That's pure
Happiness.
ecstasy.
Not the luxury, not the money.
Not the luxury.
Okay.
You can have all the luxury in the world. I mean, I hate giving this example, but Donald Trump is an example.
Yeah.
Wonderful man, but he can have all the money in the world, but there is everywhere something that is lacking.
Yeah, true.
If you can walk in and people say to you, you changed my life,
That's the best
that is
feeling.
a happiness you carry to the grave with you. There's nothing
I
beats
wish
that.
everybody
Nothing
can
beats
think the same way as you think.
Thank
That's
you very
so
much.
beautifully said.
You're
The
very
true
kind.
happiness only comes when you make others happy.
You add value to someone's life. That's it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be money. It just has to be
Anything, yeah.
value.
Value.
You
Just
made
adding
that.
a value in someone's life.
That's it.
So what do you have to say to those people who just, so much of laid off has been done in last few months in Doha, and people are very depressed and so much into depression, and they just don't know how to take the situation because they never thought of that
Correct.
any time, or
Correct.
because this is the
Correct.
history of Doha. Never in my life I've seen such crisis.
Correct.
But nowadays we are seeing people like that.
I won't say advice. I'm nobody to give an advice, but my recommendation
Yeah.
would be, there are things that you can do and there are things that you cannot do. The things that you cannot do, stop worrying about it. The things that you can do, do the best.
Do your best.
Okay, do the best, do the ultimate best. Doctor said your wife is going to die. I cannot change it. I cannot take her illness away, much as I like. But what can I do? I can give her a good support, a good family atmosphere, give her more love, things which are within my power. I made her live 14 years. I proved all the doctors wrong. So what you can do, do the best that you can. What you cannot do, leave it to God. Leave it to somebody else. If you believe in God, leave it to God. If you don't believe in God, leave it to whatever you believe in.
True.
Okay? And don't let anybody steal your dreams. It's so easy. The minute you say to someone, oh, I want to start a business, they say, no, situation is very bad. Market conditions
Or
are
you're not
bad.
capable to
No,
do that.
and you are not capable. You don't
Yeah.
have experience. Don't let anyone steal your dreams. If you have a dream, go out and get it.
Grab it.
That is quality.
Yeah.
And always remember that the higher you go, if you are a quality person, the higher you go, the more humble you become. And if you are not a quality person, the higher you go, the more arrogant you become.
True. That's a great recommendation, I
get
must
it.
say.
Just go get it.
Dr. Chandana, my last question for you. Do you think you have accomplished everything in your life till now? Or there's still a lot more to do?
I have yet to play my last innings. No. I've just begun to live life.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I have a long way to go. I'm in no hurry to die.
So where do you see yourself in next coming years? And QCCD especially.
I see my company doing a lot more good work than it is doing now, adding more value to corporations and individuals. We are the chairperson of our QCCD is Sheikha Mariam,
Okay.
a wonderful lady, very great visionary, has great plans for the future. We are just about to launch two different companies and put them together with QCCD.
Okay.
Maybe in the next 1 year you will see us establish offices in all the 9 countries where we work. So we have a lot of plans, and thank God that it's happening. As I said, I have a last innings to play. I'm not ready to declare out,
And you got to play this best.
and I'm going to play this the best.
Yeah. Tell me about, so you have so many women around you.
Yeah.
I would like to hear, something, a good advice or anything that you feel that women need to know. There's so many women followers and viewers
Yes,
must
there
be
are-
looking at you right
there,
now.
There are.
And you're a great supporter, I must say, for women.
I'm very fortunate that
Yeah.
most of my people in my company, as well as people, with my students and on corporations, are ladies. And I do sincerely believe, and I know the men will kill me, but I do sincerely believe that the ladies are more hardworking than the men.
Wow.
Okay? I sincerely believe that, and I've seen it in different countries. So I'm not saying in one country. I've seen it in different
every
countries.
country.
Ladies, once they set their mind on something,
They do it.
they do it. They go and do it.
Yeah.
So I am a great believer in women power.
So with this note, we take a leave now. And before we leave, Dr. Chandana, I would like you to say something to our followers, our wonderful viewers who is watching you right now.
Don't ever fall into the trap where you have to compromise on your dreams. Have a dream, go for it. This country gives us the best opportunity to achieve our dreams. I've been to many countries, I've lived everywhere, different continents, but every single time I look at Qatar, I sincerely believe that I have an opportunity to realize my dreams. There is no question of paying bribes to anybody. Nothing gets delayed if you're following the rules, and people generally are helpful. So here is the opportunity, go and grab it. The most important thing in this country is we live with different nationalities. Have respect for every single nationality, their religion, their culture, their language, and learn and teach your children to mix with everyone, so that when we go back to our countries, we can actually take this message of tolerance back to our countries. I'm grateful to What's Up Doha for giving me this opportunity, because truly this is a great social service that you are doing, and I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chandana. Before I say you goodbye, there is a small giveaway from our sponsor, Perry Gallery, only for the guests coming on my talk show, especially for you.
It is an honor. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So this is it for today, viewers. Hopefully you enjoyed the interview as much as I did talking with Dr. Chandana. Truly an inspirational personality and such a motivational speaker. I'll see you soon with another episode, with another inspiring personality. Till then, take a lot of care of yourself. Goodbye.